Welcome to today's edition of a cultural apologetic take on the news. Today is the 19th of August, 2024. This podcast is AI generated and can make mistakes. It is intended to generate possible ideas, not to provide an authoritative take on the day's news from the standpoint of reformed cultural apologetics. We start with a crisis in the Middle East. Antony Blinken, after his 9th visit to the region this year, warns that we may be looking at a potential last chance to secure the release of Israeli hostages and establish a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, cautioning against any escalations. This news sadly accompanies updates on grim casualties, terrible terrorist attacks, and the enduring trauma inflicted on both Israelis and Palestinians. Approaching this story under the lens of Cornelius Van Til's critique of autonomy in human reasoning, this crisis underscores the limitations of international efforts that de-emphasize the pervasive presence of sin. The continued cycle of violence does not need merely a political solution, but a change of hearts, something that human diplomacy in itself cannot bring about. Until the root issues of sin and human corruptibility are acknowledged, a lasting peace seems elusive. Our second news story revolves around the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Recent developments suggest that Ukraine has undertaken strikes in the Kursk region, intending to create a buffer zone. This shockingly direct attack on Russia's territory vividly illustrates the volatility of the situation. Moreover, Beijing's upcoming visit to Russia and Belarus could potentially shift the war's dynamics. Viewing this through the concept of double listening from John Stott, the cultural and political complexity of this conflict beckons a careful hearing of both God's word and the world. While there is a necessity for physical defense, there's also an enormous spiritual battle to be fought. Moreover, the decision of other nations like China to maintain neutrality or discreetly support one side reveals the human tendency to constantly seek control and security. A Tower of Babel of sorts that reflects the disordered loves Augustine of Hippo emphasized. These disputes should thereby move us to reflect and respond appropriately, not merely as transient observers, but as Christians commanded to love their neighbors in a fallen world. We are to look closely and listen carefully, making the most of these opportunities to engage meaningfully with the narratives and nationally held beliefs shaping our world and our mission fields. Thank you for joining me on a cultural apologetic take on today's news. I hope you'll tune in tomorrow for more reformed Christian analysis of current events. May your appreciation of the news be an avenue of understanding God's grand story, giving you the courage and wisdom to peacefully and meaningfully engage with our ever-changing world.